Hey everyone, Draco Magnius here for another episode of Nier Weapon Stories. This time we're covering the Phoenix set. There's no particular relation to the stories, like they're not connected to each other. There's only a theme that's consistent between all three. So with that being the case, I'm going to be reading them in the order that we've obtained them, which is dagger, spear, sword. But without further ado, let's get to summoning. A girl was engaged to a man who roamed the battlefields. The girl held her belief, prayed in the mornings, at noon, on evenings, and hoped that the man would remain safe and sound. Maybe her straightforward prayers did reach. One night a brightly shining bird appeared in her dreams and left her with these words. "The man shall return safe and sound." At the bird's whispered words, the faithful girl cried in joy. However, the brightly shining bird continued in its beautiful voice, his heart won't return. Eventually the man did come back alive, just as the bird predicted, with a plethora of scars across his formidable body and a beautiful stranger at his side. Even then the girl ran towards the man, her heart filled with her love until this point. The man was surprised and embraced the girl. However, he eventually fell down. Standing beside the fallen man was the girl, her right hand grasping a blood-stained dagger, her left hand holding what resembled a red-black ripened fruit, the man's heart. His heart shall never wander again. Standing in the pool of blood, the girl kissed the man's heart with an expression of the utmost fulfillment and intoxicated happiness, and gave a prayer as thanks. In a country near the border, there was a warrior who did not fear death. His formidable body was so sturdy that even arrows could not seem to pierce him. Because of that, the warrior constantly threw himself in the midst of the battlefield. Once, a beautiful bird appeared in the warrior's dreams. The bird praised the brave and fierce warrior and whispered to him that he could fulfill 2 wishes: end the war, making the world into a peaceful one, or for him to attain immortality. The warrior chose immortality. Ever since then, the warrior in battle became a sight to behold. He cut down enemies like grass, and no matter how many arrows had been shot at him, no matter how many swords he'd been showered in, he remained perfectly fine and continued to cut open a path in the enemies. The king bestowed numerous titles and praises upon the warrior, and the warrior thought that his glorious days will continue until the ends of time. However, the war did not end, and the border country eventually came to destruction. The flames of battle expanded and wrought devastation to nearby areas. Trees and grass withered, people died out, and eventually there was no one who knew of the warrior anymore. No matter how much he starved himself, the warrior could not die. He dreamt of the beautiful bird again. He begged to die, but the bird answered that he couldn't. It told the warrior that he could never die, no matter what. This is an old story. A beautiful bird with brightly shining feathers lived silently and carefully in the depths of a forest. One day, a child abandoned as a burden wandered into the depths of the forest. The bird took pity on the starved and sunken child and pecked off one of its feathers to give to the child. The child brought it back and pleased his relatives, and he was able to live with his family again. Hearing the story, people barged into the forest one after another and told the bird of how poor, how unfortunate, and how unrewarded they were. The beautiful bird took pity on them and gave them one shining feather after another, and when it gave its last feather, the bird's beautiful body was reduced to a sorry state. However, the ugly bird did not have any regrets. The ugly bird that lost its feathers was freezing in the cold, and the child from before appeared in front of it. He told it that he was searching for a brightly shining and beautiful bird to repay his debts. The ugly bird was overjoyed and told the child of its desire. "That was me! Please, would you not keep me warm in your chest?" But the child merely took one glance at the ugly bird and called it a liar, killing it with a huge sword and eating the burnt bird. Afterwards, he continued to search for the beautiful bird.